Hi and welcome to the next tutorial. Today we'll be creating a very simple poster like this using Adobe Photoshop and some very simple tools that will allow us to create patterns from images. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to download an image to get started. So I've just put this image into Adobe Photoshop, and then what we need to do is we need to create a pattern from this image. So I download the PNG version from a PNG website and I've just put it inside of Photoshop. The next thing you need to do is you need to get this libraries panel open up. So if you don't have libraries, all you need to do is go to Windows, Libraries, and then you can get access to all of your stuff. Now you will need the 2020 version of Photoshop, so make sure you update to the latest version. So the first thing that we need to do is we are just going to click on this button down here. We're going to add content and we need to create from an image. Alright, so now I'm just going to click on that image and now I get access to this dialog box. Now I can move my scale, I can actually move the strawberry around in there, I can change the rotation, and I can get some pretty cool effects by just using this strawberry image. So you can play around with that and see what you actually like, and you can have a look at the different patterns that they create, and you can move things around down here. So once you're happy with your pattern, we can then move on to the next. I'm just going to save that to my CC libraries. So that will take, a few seconds to do. It's saved, but I can also create other cool things in here, like a vector image of my strawberry. So I can change the detail if I wanted to have more detail, less detail, so a good rule is to find the balance between the blacks and the whites. Maybe you can even smooth it if there's a few rough edges. But once you've done that, you can save that to your library and you can use that as a vector graphic. So we'll be using that in our design, and it will help to unify the whole design. Also, the color themes are very important in here as well, because all these bits and pieces of colors that have been actually extracted from the strawberry. So now I know if I put this red in there, or this red, I know that it will match perfectly with the rest of my shape. So you can go and you can also save that to your CC libraries, and you can also put in some gradients as well. So the gradients, it depends really where you take the gradient from, and you can add as many stops for the gradient as you like. Here it goes from like a darkish red to a lightish red, back to a darker red, and you've got that nice gradient in there. If you want to add some more stops, you can. So once you've got all your stuff inside of your library, so I've got my color theme, I've got my my captured shape, and I've also got my pattern. I'm just going to create a new document, and so I'm just going to do it 1920 by 1080. And I'm going to go click on create. Now with my libraries panel up, I can just click on my libraries panel, and already you can see that the strawberries have come up on my screen. Now it's kind of never ending because there's a lot of strawberries in there, and if you want to change any of that, all you have to do is you can just click on this, and then you can maybe zoom it in, or you can make it smaller, etc. So once you're happy with your size of your strawberries, you can then move on to the next thing. So I've got my strawberries there, and what I did here is I just put a bar and I just wrote some text as well. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add that now. So I'm going to click on, just going to get rid of that. I'm going to click on a new layer, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle on my screen. Make sure that I'm in the new layer. I'm just going to grab the colors from here. So I'm going to make sure that I've grabbed that red, and I'm just going to fill that in with the paint bucket. So now I've got that, and I'm just going to make sure that that's centered. So I'm going to keep on dragging until it kind of snaps, and then I know that that's actually centered. We are also going to grab in our little shape here. So if I just click and if I drag that, alright, I can put that shape in there like that. But I'm I'm gonna actually drag it into so I'm gonna create a new document. So I'm just gonna put my shape on a new background, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to cut out all this black area. So I'm gonna do this by hitting on the magic wand tool, and I'm just gonna click on the black areas. I'm just gonna hold shift so that I can get from one side to the other side. I need to make sure that I raster this layer, because otherwise it won't work. And once I've done that, then all I need to do is just press delete on my keyboard, and it will get rid of all of that stuff. So now I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to bring it into my document. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller by pressing Ctrl T to free transform. And I'm just going to put it over there. So there you go. Now I've got my strawberry in there nicely. And if you want to change the colors for that or invert it, you can press Ctrl I on your keyboard to invert the colors. So the final thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some writing at the bottom. So if I click on my T tool, and if I wrote something, I can change my font, I can change my font size, I can change the color of my font, and I can put it all in. So once you're happy with your text, you can just add it with your strawberry. And the last thing I did is I just put another rectangle underneath it to give it that extra kind of look, but I guess you can leave it like that. So there's another example of how to use the colors. Because I've got the white box there, I can now do it in black and white, but you can always change it to any of these colors that are in your colors in your library. They're always, you know, good colors to use as because they're actually part of the strawberry, you know, that we have here, and the color that we actually took. So you could, you know, change that up. You could put that as red, and there you go. You've got a nice uniform design. Anyways, guys, that was a quick and easy video on how to create patterns from shapes using Photoshop. So I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you enjoyed the video.